same thing last night. Gavin stole the show, but seeing Claude with his family, seeing him with his kids, the kids get the little hockey sticks. He gets the hockey stick with Bobby Clark. The teammates come over, Ivan Provorov, Kevin Hayes. They present the ladies with flowers, Claude's mom and his lovely wife, Ryan. It was awesome. The Flyers do things like that, I think, better than anybody in sports. Those moments, those tribute moments, every single time they get a hat trick. They light the lamp, whatever. They hit a home run every single time. And the Flyers, on top of it, had a great performance in the third period. What did I just say? Great performance in the third period to actually win that game. Claude didn't necessarily stuff the stat sheet, but he was very emotional after playing 1,000 games for the Philadelphia Flyers, something only Bobby Clark has done for the Flyers organization. So 2 people have done that, and they were both on the ice last night, sharing the same silver hockey stick, if you will. So that was a great moment. And Claude, after the game, as you would assume, talked about the emotional aspect of last night, most likely being his last game with the Flyers. Here is Claude Giroux last night.
From a personal standpoint, have you ever been to a more emotional game personally for yourself?
Definitely not. I mean, during the game, I was trying to keep it together, and it wasn't too bad the first 2 periods, and then the third period hit, and the crowd, my teammates, they just made it extra special. I didn't know what to expect, but tonight was pretty awesome.
It was pretty awesome. It was a really special night for the Orange and Black, a special night for the Philadelphia Flyers, and obviously Claude Giroux. So where could Claude be headed? Enter Nasty Knuckles. Look at that! Breaking stories. So according to Nasty, according to Riley Cote, they're saying, per a source, I wonder who it could be. Claude Giroux is headed to the Florida Panthers. That's where he's going. Not the Colorado Avalanche. No, not to the Avs, but apparently to the Florida Panthers. That's where he'll be taking his hockey skills a little bit north of South Beach, I guess. He'll be taking his talents a little bit north of South Beach by playing for the Florida Panthers. I don't get in my feels a lot when I watch sports anymore. I call me a cold-hearted bastard. I don't know. But when I watched Claude Giroux last night, I was definitely feeling something. Like to watch him come up and be a youngster with the Stanley Cup team that made it to the Stanley Cup championship, obviously the Stanley Cup final against the Blackhawks, and then to watch the whole process that ensued after that, Mike Richards, Jeff Carter getting traded, this becoming Claude Giroux's team, and him being the longest tenured captain in the history of the Philadelphia Flyers. That says something about his career. And then as I started to reflect on his career, I started to get mad. I started to get angry because we look right now at the Sixers, and what do we always say the number one goal of the Sixers is? Other than the more specific thing, other than winning a championship, we talk about how you can't waste the prime of Joel Embiid's career, okay? And although I think Joel Embiid is a better basketball player than Claude Giroux as a hockey player, what I will say is that I feel like the Flyers have wasted the prime of Claude Giroux's career. And you think about the head coaches he's had, from Peter Laviolette to Craig Berube to Dave Haxtell to Alain Vigneault, and now you have an interim coach for the majority of this season in Mike Yeo. And this is over his time as a captain. And then I think of Ron Hextall coming in here and never really making a move to try to put him over the edge of the trade deadline to make something special happen. And then I look at Chuck Fletcher adding some guys like Kevin Hayes and what they've been able to do as an offense. Then Kevin Hayes has some up and down, 2 up and down years. He's got a bad injury and all that. For me, it's a rough thing over the last decade to look at Claude Giroux and for the people that want to go, oh, well, he's the captain, he should be the leader. Well, first off, he is the leader. I never talked to anybody in that dressing room for the Philadelphia Flyers that had a bad word to say about Claude Giroux. So I think he's a pretty damn good leader in that regard. And when they talk about the franchise not having success in his tenure here, you know who the first person to bring that up is? Claude Giroux, which is always what I've respected about him in that regard. So I look at this the last 10 years and I think of myself, this is a team that I think wasted the talents of Claude Giroux for a long time. And as the captain of this team, as a guy who still compiled all these numbers by playing in all these games for the Philadelphia Flyers, 900 points, 1,000 games. Damn, that's awesome. But thinking about it like this, what he could have had if he had a GM that wasn't Ron Hextall, if he had an organization that came in and actually wanted to win while he was here, not just, all right, well, let's sustain, rebuild. Then, that's what we'll end up doing. And that's how we'll have success eventually. Well, by saying eventually, you're telling me that the years of like the late 20s and early 30s of Claude Giroux's career are not going to matter to this team and to this hockey club. And that's unfortunate. And that's one of the things I miss about the Ed Snyder years. And they were always, until a couple of years ago, is that this team was always trying to win. You can always count on the Flyers no matter what. They were trying to win the Stanley Cup that year. There was no next year. There was no tomorrow. They were trying to win. And they could not be a farther cry from that right now. So, Claude Giroux, good luck to you. Thanks for the service here in Philadelphia, playing for the Flyers, doing a great job as the captain of this team. I wish the organization could have served you better.